Hi everyone, I'm excited to be back with another process video for you today, and this one's going to be a little bit different. It's not exactly a two-page layout, but it is going to be 2 pages. So most of you know that I like to scrapbook double-page layouts. So here I'm just showing you the pictures and some of the products that I've pulled. I've cut some circles with my Colozzle. I've cut some pieces from one of the sheets of paper in this collection, which is A Walk in the Park by Echo Park. I'll show you that in a moment. So I'm just going to scoot everything off my mat. This is the background piece of paper that I'm going to use, and I'm just showing you that I've already spritzed it with Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and the color is teal. So I'm using 3 pictures here. My daughter is predominant in 2 of them, and then my son and my daughter are in the one. So I'm putting that one in the middle so that it is hopefully the main focus. And then the 3 circles that I've cut with my Colozzle, I'm going to place around the photo. So I'm kind of working down the center of my page, which I've really been enjoying lately. I did one other process video with a layout that I did that. Here I'm showing you the collection that I'm using. Life is Good by Echo Park. I think I said A Walk in the Park, sorry. Life is Good is the name of the collection. So I've already inked the edges of the paper, and I have matted my photos on a teal piece of solid cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and start creating clusters on each of these circles. And I'm going to put some thread through this tag, and I always do it wrong the first time. It never fails. But like I said, I went ahead and inked the edges of the circles, of the photo mats, of each of the little pieces that I'm going to use on in the clusters, on the circles, the strips from the manufacturer strip over there on the right, I've inked them. And like I said, this is not a 2-page layout, but I am going to be doing 2 pages of this day. My kids were little. They're not that little anymore. They're 20 and 25. And I'm just enjoying scrapbooking some of the film prints from when they were little. They were out on the deck, him in his underwear and her in her diaper, just having a ball blowing bubbles. So this page is going to be hers for her book. And then, and this will go up on Monday. And then, oh no, sorry, on Thursday. And then on Monday, I'll put up the page that I did for him. And it's very similar. Same paper collection. 3 photos, of course, they're different. There are 2 with just him in it and 1 of them with both of them in it. And I kind of follow the same idea working down the middle of the page. But it's just fun to do a similar page, but yet see how different it ends up looking. And these are going to go, in 2 different books, one for her and one for him. So it doesn't matter that they're similar, and it sure made getting a layout or 1 page for each of them in their books done. It made it really quick. So I'm going ahead and starting to stick my photos down to my main page. And what I did is I just drew a line down the center of the page, so I had that to work off of to make sure that everything is straight and centered. And I kind of have a cluster pretty much done up in the right, it looks like. The one on the left isn't completely finished yet, but I moved on to the one down here on the right. And I liked this house. It came on one of the cut apart sheets, and I just cut it out. Yeah, all of the bits and pieces, except for that You and Me cork circle, that's a jelly bean soup. And that's the last one that was in the package. So I killed a package and it felt really good. I kind of got excited when I got to throw that away because I'd used the last one. I had them for a while. They were pretty old. So I just put that heart down on the house because it brought a pop of yellow down into that cluster. I'm trying to use all of the colors that are going on in these papers in each of the clusters. So there's pink, which I used predominantly on this page because it was for her. And then kind of an aqua teal, and a little bit of brown, and some yellow. So this is where I will do my journaling on this little card that I'm sticking down now. And I just liked that You and Me cork in that cluster because it's across from the one picture that they're both in. And I'm going to pop it up on foam tape. That little yellow tag with a flower in the top cluster is popped up with foam tape too. These strips of paper I positioned so that the one with stripes on it is up in the corner away from the stripe, the circle that is out of the stripe paper, and the same with the polka dot. I did it on the other side from where I did the polka dot circle. I've had these pictures obviously for so long, and I'm just really enjoying going back and scrapbooking these times when they were little. And it took me a while to figure out how to do it because I want them for him and I want them for her, but I only have one copy of the pictures. So what I've been doing is when I have a large group of photos like this, I pull the ones out that she's predominant in, and the same for him. And then if there's a photo with both of them in it or two, then I, just kind of divide those up for both of them. Now these strips, these short strips, I've torn the edges on and left uninked. I just did the sides because I wanted it to kind of look like a piece of washi tape. So I did 2 full strips of paper in this one, and then that short little teal piece where you can see the white torn edges, I tore it hoping that it would kind of look a little bit like washi. I would have used washi, but I didn't have the right color. They were too green. And I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive on the backs of these because I'm going to stitch through them, which you will see in the final shots. I'll do some close-ups so that you can see where I do the stitching. This is a piece of washi that I'm putting down right now, and I didn't want it transparent, so I just left the backing on it and put adhesive on the back of it, and I'm sticking it down without peeling the adhesive that comes on it off. Yeah, so in the final shots, you'll see I did my journaling. I'm going to stitch through the strips of paper on both sides. And I think that's all that I do off camera at the end before I do the still shots and the close-up shots. Yeah, so this one will go up on Thursday, and then on Monday will be a similar page that's for my son. So I really had fun working with this paper collection from Echo Park, and it just worked for all of the pictures. The journaling on this page is going to say, "Bubbles make them happy for hours, especially while in their undies." And then I don't do it on camera, but I stamp a little phrase stamp by Amy Tangerine that says "Crazy Fun" above the journaling, and then below it I stamp 1997, which is the year. I'm looking at this stitched ruler by Close to My Heart because I want to stitch 3 little X's on this pink card up here. There's a little bit of empty space, but that ruler didn't have an X pattern on it. So I decided to just go ahead and draw them with my pencil, and then I'm going to poke the holes and stitch them with a piece of the darker pink thread. And I don't want them perfect, so I just, draw some wonky X's, 3 right on top of each other, and I am going to stitch them on camera so you can see that little process. But the stitching through the strips of paper on the sides I'll do off camera because I'm going to do that with my sewing machine. I did ink around the edges of the 12 by 12 piece of paper that I did the layout on as well. I pretty much inked everything just to give it a cohesive look. And then I did add, I forgot to mention that I added a little blue flower behind that You and Me cork circle just because I needed a third element in that cluster on that circle. And there are the 3 stitched X's. I'm going to go ahead and glue this teal button down, I think. Oh, I'm going to add my candy dots. These are by Stampin' Up. And yep, right away I knew I wanted a yellow one in that center of that flower just to add a little pop there to that cluster. And then down in this cluster, I'm going to put a aqua or teal one that matches that little tab on the side of the house that says family. And I will add a yellow one up in the center of the flower in that top cluster too, but I think I do that later. So I think this is going to wrap up my layout. I'm going to go ahead and do the stitching and journaling, and I'll come back with some still shots, and I hope you will join me on Monday to see the companion page or the similar page that I do for my son. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you all had a wonderful Valentine's Day, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye.